Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Today, we're talking about something a little wild. I won't even say a little wild. It's wild, y'all. Skai Jackson's baby daddy has gone viral for basically giving a how-to guide on trapping a famous woman. It's got the internet buzzing, but the bigger question is, why is this even a conversation? Is this just entertainment, or is there a deeper issue here? Are people out here using pregnancy as a come up? And what does this say about how we view relationships, money, and success? We're going to break it all down today with my royal and beautiful panel on this Friday. Happy St. Patty's. Yes, I have lots of Irish in me, so there you go. We are here with Joe Corley, licensed therapist, mental wellness coach, and educator. We're going to be leaning in on you today, Joe. Minister Connie, our entrepreneur, real estate investor, and author. And we have Constant Carter, our wealth activist. Hello, panel. Listen, I'm going to do a quick question because I will be very, very honest. At a certain age, I think I tap out on who people are. So when I got our topic today, I didn't even know who this girl was. And when I pulled her up, I really still didn't know who she was. So just quick answer. Did everybody know who Skai Jackson was before today? Minister Connie?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Sorry.
You, Constance?
I knew who she was, and I heard my kids talking about Yerky Yerk or whatever.
How about you, Joe?
Same. I heard my son talking about her, but I don't really know who she is.
Yeah, it's interesting because I guess if you have kids, you know the shows and things like that they're on. But it showed my age today when I was like, "Who is that young whippersnapper?" It was really interesting. But the more I dug into it and the more I started checking things out, it was very concerning to me. So before we dive into this, let's check out this video so we can get the conversation started.
Cuz you kind of look like me, but I got a question, cuz. How do I get a famous pregnant, cuz?
Hey, you gotta keep it P, man.
Keep it P?
Keep it P, I ain't gonna lie.
That's all I gotta do.
Yeah, keep it P. Be that.
I'm trying to get Zendaya, cuz.
You trying to get Zendaya?
Yeah.
Hey,
Fucking Jesse works. Can you put in a word for me, cuz?
hey, put the word in, ain't it? Ain't it, P? Where you from?
I'm from Kentucky.
You from K1? Where you at? Get to the city, come on.
You in the city, Louisville?
Nah, we in Cincinnati, you in Louisville?
Okay, so if you can decipher any of that, because I had to get all of that. You're like, what? And see what? Basically, the conversation was he wanted to be on the come up. He's gotten a star pregnant. And I want to also let you know that this Disney star actually has never had any issues before. She's been grinding since she was a little girl, and you know how Disney is. Disney really protects well, I won't say they really protect, but Disney tends to protect a lot of their stars, and it's a whole different world being a Disney star. So as you can see by these photos, she has been doing this a long time. Pretty young lady. She is now 22 years old. But when she got into this relationship and then when they got pregnant, then all sorts of things have come out. There have been arguments, there have been back and forth, there's been videos, and now it's a strange thing. So I am going to ask you, the audience, our family, thank you for being here today, and also the panel. Your first question is this. Obviously, he's touting that he has gotten a star pregnant. So do you think that some people intentionally target celebrities for financial gain? I'll start with you, Minister Connie.
I don't think that everyone seeks out someone that is a celebrity. Sometimes people seek out people that has money. But it just shows a lot of immaturity in this young man. I know even younger men that is more mature than him, and he needs to learn how to talk. Because you don't know what he's saying, just real immature. But sometimes in a celebrity, and your schedule is so rigid and you're everywhere. Sometimes when you get a little attention, it means a lot because that one person is interested in you when other men are afraid to approach you. So I think sometimes we get into that little struggle. Well, he showed me some attention. I'm lonely. I'm on a strict schedule. So I'll give him some attention.
That could be the case too. How about you, Constance? Do you think that, people can intentionally uh, get with these celebrities for financial gain? Can't hear you.
I mean, I was 15 and my husband knew I was going to be a star. So, I mean, that's what he did. I'm just kidding. Of course they do. They get with
No, you're not, because I feel
am.
the same way. So no, it's cool.
You
You're
saw
not.
No, of course, people, it's unfortunate because no matter what, if whether you're a star or not, if you have any type of anything going for yourself, people will seek you out for that very reason. So that's the unfortunate thing. And when you are successful or a celebrity or famous, people target you even more. Some people will target you, and then other people will be intimidated to approach you. So it's that thing. It's better to just be normal.
Yeah, right. How about you, Joe? Do you think that celebrities are intentionally targeted for financial gain?
Sure. Yeah, but I think more like what Connie was saying, attention is a hell of a drug. I think the attention is probably more addicting than the actual money. Because I mean, like I believe Constance maybe said yesterday in the chat, a lot of famous broke people. People just really addicted to being famous. I mean, that's just where we at.
And that's kind of what I get the feeling off of in this is that, he's pretty proud of that. Where did he come from? They say he's an influencer. She kept him pretty quiet for a long time. No one really kind of knew who he was. But Terry Wilson said, yes, both male and female seek out a sugar daddy and sugar mama. And I think that we are seeing a lot of that today. But Joe, I want to tap into you again, because we always hear she a gold digger. She. It's always the women. She's the gold digger. In this case, we are actually looking like it's a guy in this case. So, is he going to get the same stigmatization that women do?
That's not going to happen. But it's not going to happen. But he's going to get a stigmatization for sure. It's different strokes for different folks, right? We're not going to. We don't lift up the gold diggers. And we're not going to lift up the clout chasers either. And this is what he's doing. I mean, so how you get a famous girl pregnant, cuz? Like, his whole thing is going to come with his own stigmatizations and insults. He's not going to get what he wants from this, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's a false dream for that. Minister Connie, now listen, we talk about social media all the time because we can't ignore it. We really can't ignore the fact that, it's in our world. So do you think that social media and the influencer culture has turned relationships into like business moves or clout moves?
Yes, I do. It seems like everybody want to get 200 million followers for some reason. They get paid for it. So that's another reason why. But the thing is, it's a good evil and a bad. It's good and bad. Everything is good, but people turn it bad. And I think that your life should not be on social media. I know that I have a friend, she puts everything on Facebook, and I'm like, I'm talking about serious things. And I'm like, wait a minute, aren't we too old for that? So, and she knows I say it all the time. But the thing is that we are, I like to keep my family and my affairs and all that private. Now, I want to share something that for information wise, yes, I will do that, but not my life. No.
Right. I think everybody feels like they need to put their business out there. And some people do it because they want connections. But let's look at this. Here's some really interesting stats. Clout chasing in social media. So Rock actually has over 200 million Instagram followers, and he is the most most by American Male Watch. For me personally, I would like to look Lenny a little better, but okay. Studies show that 68% of young people believe social media has changed how people date and form relationships. That's scary to me.
Mhm.
Where is the real connection? I'm feeling like there is no connection. It's everything has to be on screen. Constant, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like everybody seems to want to live out loud? I mean, you and I do things for business, right? We do podcasts, we do things like that. But there's so many others that are not necessarily doing that type of thing. They just want to be the influencer. So how do you feel about that? Do you think that's what the
I
world is
post a
starting
lot.
to do?
I do. I've posted a lot since I've been on Facebook. I've always done that. But for me, it's so cool because I love Facebook memories. Like there are some things that I've posted about my kids when they were little, just little things that they've done. And, you know, people always say, oh my God, I love the stories that you talk about with your kids. But when they come back up in the memories, are things that I've forgotten. Like, oh my God, I remember when my son said this little witty thing when he was 3 years old, or you know, it goes back there. I mean, Facebook came out when my young son was born. So for me, I love it. And I post a lot. Now, I would have never thought, because you would look so happy, right? Everything looks so perfect. Well, I'm not going to tell you that I was just like to get stuff. No, but on the real, you know, I'm not going to tell you like the bad things. I'm going to tell you the things that I want you to know. And that's the thing that we should, you know, social media, you know, you use it for whatever you want to, but I do a lot. It's like,
Constance, we keep losing you.
Mhm.
Okay, I think she's frozen. Listen, I want to tag on before we go to break to what, you know, Constance was saying. You know, you post, I'm sorry, Constance, go ahead. You blanked out also. I didn't get the last part that you said.
I said, it's just like a photo album of just me being able to see like my kids, going back to see my kids growing up.
That's a good
And
thing.
what I was tagging on to is like, or if you want to feel like you're like me personally, when I lost my sisters, I didn't know what else to do. And I just wanted to talk, and I wanted other people to know, you know, if you're going through something like this, it's okay to be this way, feel this way, and just get out my frustrations that way. And ended up getting an audience that follows me from that because they've been through what I've been through. So there's a connection for that. But it just seems like the influencer world seems like that's all anybody wants to do anymore. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
Listen, we are here Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you don't want to miss a show, all you have to do is text the word Queens, QUEENS, to 87948, and you will be notified every time we go live. And that way you won't miss us at all. You know, you love these conversations, and we love having you here live. I want to continue this. And this whole thing makes me feel icky. I'm just going to be very honest about it. It makes me very sad. And I'm really struggling with seeing what this young girl is going through. She's 22 years old. She has a child. And now she's dealing with these type of situations with this baby daddy, because I can't even call him a young man right now because it just makes me feel weird. So let's check out this other video and we'll get back into this conversation.
So, Skai Jackson and the father of her child are currently trending, and this is what we heard so far. So, right after Skai Jackson sat down and did an interview with People magazine, letting them know that she is expecting, because there has been months of speculation from her supporter that she might have been pregnant. She sat down with with People's magazine and did an interview telling them that she's excited for motherhood. She did not tell the gender of the baby, but she just told us that she is indeed expecting. But now there has been a lot of digging on who the father of her child might be. And upon some digging, people are finding out that he has been saying some disturbing things about Skai, including how he doesn't want to have a baby with her. And these are what he, posted on Facebook. But Skai did went ahead and comment under Tasha's gay post stating that he did not say that. Both Skai and her mother are denying these claims, but that's not the only thing. It has also been alleged that he has more than one child. This is not his first child. There's some proof on Facebook floating around that he has other children. It might be more than two. That include Skai Jackson baby with him right now.
So there is a lot here going on. Joe, I want to tap into you about, let's take the star element out of it. I want to actually tap into the emotional aspect that this could cause from her. You have her saying that, no, he loves me, no, he's this, but you have him coming out and saying the exact opposite. How can this definitely affect someone's mental?
Well, if you're someone who leads with your wounds, right, or you're exposed and your insecurities are out and you're not really stable, then yeah, this could really be detrimental. I mean, you're just jumping up and down on somebody's insecurities, and that it's going to make you feel worse and worse. But there are people who are secure in who they are who this wouldn't affect at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if this person is one of them. Like I said, this whole thing, not knowing these people at all in real life, this whole thing screams of insecurities on both sides. So, and that's where these unhealthy relationships, straight insecurities.
Yes, and what concerns me is, I mean, I've always shared on here that I was a mother at 16, and I struggled with being a mother at 16, but I had a very good support system. But I can't imagine what that would do to my child. I mean, it was already stressful enough me being a young mother, but to have this level of contention on top of it seems to me that would affect your pregnancy and affect the baby. And we do know that everything, as we do as mothers with our babies in our wombs, they feel everything that we feel. So that really concerns me a lot. So I'm going to ask you, Minister Connie, do you think that wealthy people have more at stake when dating compared to the average person?
Yes, definitely. I'm pretty comfortable. I believe I'm wealthy, so I could say that. The person that I'm dating right now, well, I got engaged a couple of years ago, but now I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to marry him or somebody else, but I did talk to him about a prenup. I think a prenup is important, especially when you have more money than that person. Now, for me to date, I'm not looking for someone to be on the same status quo as me financially, but I want to see how he treats me. And, that's what is important, is how you are treated and how you're loved and how you're protected. This guy is not protecting her because he's going out there they're young. Young people do stupid stuff. Star or being a star or not being a star. They do stupid things. We all did it. But being a celebrity, I believe you need to have a prenup, especially if you have any kind of wealth. You need to have a prenup. And so anybody that will want to date me, got to have a prenup. Prenup.
Yeah, I you know what? And here's the thing. In this case, though, Minister Connie, they're not married. So how do you protect yourself when you're expecting a child and you don't have the protection of marriage? Is there anything at all that would protect you on that? I want to check out some stats because this is really interesting. So we were talking about prenups and protection. A survey found that 40% of wealthy individuals regret not having legal financial protections in place before marriage. And I know a lot of friends who are very sorry that they didn't do that. But, you know, in this case, you don't have that ring on your finger, but you do have this. I do want to look at the next stat that you put up, because this directly is going to tie into this child support and wealth. In the U.S., child support payments range from a few hundred to millions per year, depending on income. Now, I'm going to pull that back down because, listen, we're talking about a guy who doesn't really seem to have anything but tapping into what others have. What kind of mentality would think that that would be able to grow into something positive? We often hear about the glow up. So, Joe, do you think that this young man is trying to glow up, or he's just trying to have some kind of bragging right? What is your initial thought about his thinking? I want to hear a man's perspective.
Yeah, I look at it like a mask, and I see him talking, and I'm like, are you really like this? Like, do you really believe this, or are you just going with it because, you know, everybody expects you to be this way? A lot of people have really hard times, especially young Black men have a really hard time being who they actually are. It sounds like that would be something easy to do, but in today's world, like when everything is attention driven, and you know, social media is king, people have a difficult time being who they really are if that's not what's trendy or popular, or you know, the thing to do. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, you know, the empath in me is like, this dude is pretending, but I don't know for certain, but I'm just feeling like he's not, probably really not like that. um, but he got the attention he wanted, so he had no choice but to, we had a choice, but he felt like he had no choice but to go forward and keep wearing that mask and pretending. That's what I think.
I think so too. And you know, we can present what we want to the world uh, on social media. Constance said earlier, she didn't share the bad things like she shared. Everybody said we didn't know what was going on with that. Well, there's certain ways that we can come on, and people really don't know what you're truly going through because you choose to share what you want, your life on the internet. And many people carefully craft what they put up because they don't want people to really know what they're going through. It's kind of their therapy of keeping things happy. But we're going to take a quick break and we will be back.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Love it.
I absolutely love our commercials. You know what? They do stick with you, but that's what we want them to do, because we want you to know that we are here to help you. The Fly Nubian Money Club is one of the best things that you could do, because you're going to learn something. You are truly going to be able to glow up and learn some new skills. We've had Constance, we've had myself, we've had Vanessa Gopal, we've had Marlo, we've had so many people come and share their knowledge with you within this club, that there is no reason whatsoever you can't put your right foot forward and glow up your finances. So you definitely want to sign up at flynubianmoneyclub.com. There is a 30-day free trial. Don't miss out. Now, Joe, Deborah says it's important for young people to have realistic role models. I want to tap into that with you. How important is it for them to have these role models?
It's critical, man. I think that, we have to get more people in front of young people. Now I'll be sincere. Like, if you got a room full of 30, you might get 2 or 3, but it's 2 or 3 more than you had. I remember when I was a young person, and this gentleman came to our school. He was a black gentleman. I don't know his name. Never saw him again. Never heard of him again. But I remember the things that he said. But at the time, he had this ring with all these keys on it. He said, well, every one of these keys goes to some business that I have or door. That's all I remember. Besides the fact that while we were actually in the meeting, I was making jokes. I was clowning the dude, and he was like snapping back, embarrassing me. And that's all I remembered. But the lasting impact of what he said in that moment, I never forgot that. I never forgot what he was trying to tell me, even though I didn't get it at the time. So what I'm trying to say is, like, we got to get realistic role models in front of people to say the things that are important, the things that we know to be fact, to try to, dispel a lot of, the things that we need to unlearn. I mean, the only challenging part is that at that time, that man didn't have social media to compete with. I was just listening to him. So we need really talented people to get in front of these kids and talk about, some of the things that we actually need them to take in and to be learning that's going to really impact their future, so they don't, repeat a lot of the same mistakes that our community has basically, you know what I'm trying to say.
I do. Yeah. But I think that's a great point that, we definitely touched on. I don't know, these kids today, I don't know where I would have been without my village. Like my village. When I became pregnant, I was already like, I can't believe I did that. What am I going to do? But my family rallied around me immediately. And the first thing they told me was, yeah, it's not always going to be roses. You ain't the first, and you surely ain't the last. And so therefore, we are all going to help you get through this. You're still going to continue school. You're going to get your education. My aunties, I had 5 aunties. One of them said, I'm off on Mondays. I'll take the baby on Monday. Then the other auntie said, I'm off on Wednesday. I'll take the baby on Wednesday. So my son grew up in the village that I lived in, and I do not know where I would be without that. So I want to tap into you, Minister Connie, because you and I both talk about villages. How important is this going to be for her? She's had this baby. Apparently, according to her, she's still with him, and he's still out here talking about 9. So how important is her community going to be in her life?
It's very important to have a community. I remember when I had my son at 20, I was in college, and I depended on my parents, and I depended on his parents. And so we did it as collectively as a group, because it's really important for a child to be enriched on both sides of the family, not just the mother, but also the father side of things. So I have a 15-month-old granddaughter. She is so cute. I just love her. Now I'm on the father's side. And so the mother, she says, whenever you want her, you can have her. She's so busy. But I want to impart some of the things that I learned and I have into her. So it's very important. And I have a scripture. The Bible says in Psalms 127:3 that children are a heritage from the Lord. So God wants us to have that heritage so that we could put our beautiful upbringings, if they were, or the experience that we had into our children and say, no, 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 we don't want to do that. Well, I'm an entrepreneur. I want to instill entrepreneurship into my grandchildren. I want them to know how to go out there and make it. So those are the things that you want to impart as part as a father. I'm on the father side as the grandmother of this grandchild. So it's very important to come together as a family of community to come in to help with these children. It's very, very important.
It definitely is. Like I said, I shudder. I literally shudder. I'm 55 years old. My son is 38. I shudder when I think, oh my God, if I didn't have that in my life,
Mhm.
what would that have looked like? Because I've also shared on here that my birth mother gave me to my aunt when I was 3 years old. I got to meet my mother and my other siblings when I was 18 years old. Their lives were 360 from what mine was, and knowing that I could have gone down that same road is quite frightening, because they did not have a lovely life. But Black Lexicon says the best scenario for both parents is to plan. That infers they considered their career implications. Well, I don't think this young man had career implications, and that's one of the problems. He also said that she needs to leave his foolishness in the dust and become a beacon example of how to navigate through all women who find themselves in this seemingly predicament. But let's twist that, Joe. I want to talk about that a little bit, because it says that she needs to be the one to become the beacon. Is that way too much pressure on a woman? Why can't we say that about the young man?
They is what we should be saying, not she. That is too much pressure, and it's not fair. But she has a responsibility for her side of the street. Like we have to be accountable for all the decisions that we're making and the outcomes of those decisions. And she does have some accountability in this. But all she can do is be responsible for what she's responsible for. Asking her to be the beacon, that's not fair.
I agree. And actually, AB has a good comment too. I mean, he said he was foolish before she got pregnant, not sure where her counselor was. Do you feel like maybe the family kind of kept quiet about that, Minister Connie? Obviously, this young man didn't just all of a sudden start acting like that. It seems to me he was acting like that beforehand. Does this fall into the bad boy category that a lot of time they say women like?
Yeah, sometimes women do like bad boys. But the representative's going to come first. They're going to always come first. So they're going to be really nice and everything. So he could have been putting on when he first met her family, or whatever. And then the real person came out. So we always got to remember that. So give it some time before you just jump right into things. But I'm hoping that she take him to child support and the judge will knock his head off. I would show that video. I would show that video and get a lot of everything he got. I would just take it just because. So the thing is that he might be thinking it's all fun and games, but it's going to cost him one way or another. It's going to cost him.
I think it will. And I will not say, and I'm gonna bounce this off of you too, Joe. I have to be very honest. Some people, when we grow up, you put stigmatations on people, and then you just assume that's going to be them for the rest of their lives. I have actually seen people who I thought have turned everything around and really ended up being good people, turning around their lives completely. So should we also not be putting this kind of stigma on this young man right now because he's immature and maybe he'll grow into being a better person?
Yeah, 100%, man. Like I sometimes, like lower my head and I close my eyes when I think about the person that I was in 19, 20, 21, and things that I was saying, if there's video of it, I'm like, I'm embarrassed to kind of watch it. I mean, we all just grow and we develop. Some of us don't, and we still are those same people, but a lot of us do. And, you got to give people room and time to grow and be who they're going to be. Life experiences sometime or life events can be significant in changing the way that people show up in the world. So you always have to look at everyone from a place that's internal. Like how are you showing up in the situation? Because that's all you can control. And if something doesn't feel right, you have the right to like move around from that situation or teach yourself how to be okay in situations that make you feel uncomfortable. But you always got to look at things from your side of the street because you don't know what somebody went through.
Exactly. That's right. And I always say, you never know. You make me think about that too, because sometimes, and one of my mottos that I say a lot of the times before I end any of my broadcasts is to smile, because you never know what someone is really going through and they just may need that smile. And the reason I say that is because there is a true story about a guy who said he was walking to the bridge to jump off the bridge, and literally said, if no one smiles at me today, I'm going to jump. If someone smiles at me, I will not jump. And just so happened someone smiled at him, and that's why he was able to turn around. So I often wonder, has she got some kind of trauma behind her, or does she just fall into sometimes maybe your first love, where you put up with a lot of things? Minister Connie, do you think that may be the case here? She just kind of fell into love?
Yes, probably her first love. So sometimes we were stupid for that. I remember I met my son's father at the age of 16, and he had a car, and nobody that was in my community dated someone with a car. And I don't know if I was crazy about him because he had a car or what, but I dated him and had my son at 20. So after I had my son, I was like, oh, this guy is really not for me. I moved to Minnesota to get away from him. So I do, but he was my first love, first out of high school, in high school. So, and he showed me things. He was 4 years older than me. So he was out of high school. So all the things, he was just whining and dining me as much as he could at 20 years old that he was older than me. So it was kind of fun. First love, so, but we get stupid. We really do.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We definitely do. Yeah. Listen, Deborah says you can't tell foolish love nothing.
Nothing. And you know what?
That is so true.
I still got him around. I got my son.
That's right. Like, I wouldn't trade the world for my baby. Look, he's 38. I'm still calling my baby. But listen, I mean, we do get that beautifulness out of that. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
Listen, I want to stay here for just a little bit, and let me tell you why. Because here at Fly Nubian Money, every Friday, we have all decided that we are going to participate in blackout. So no Target, no Walmart, no Amazon. Many of us have actually gone above and beyond that as well. I will no longer be using Amazon. I will no longer be stepping foot into a Target, and I already was not on board with Walmart. But what does that mean when I need something? I need to find somewhere where I can spend my Black money that's going to stay in my Black community. And that's what we are doing. I am so happy to announce that we are having the Black Business Directory. So if you have a business and you want to be seen, there are people who are looking for you. And all you have to do is send in your information to us at info@realvirtual.net. And look, the Mr. got her B1 Black First on there, right?
Black first. Amen.
That's right. We want to keep that money in our
That's
community.
Right. That's right.
So send in your information. We want your name, your business name, your website, your telephone number, and send in a little bio so that you can tell people who you are and what you do. And it's constantly building. So send your information in. And if you're interested in having a copy, also email us at the same email, info@realvirtual.net, and let us know that you want a copy. And that we shall get to you. Now, listen, we do have one more video, y'all. One more video on this. And let's see what this one says.
As if that wasn't bad enough, she was involved in another scandal that had people side-eyeing her again. This time, it was because she was allegedly under investigation for being connected to a money laundering scheme. This former Disney actress is being investigated for money laundering and drug trafficking. Skai Jackson. After all these back-to-back controversies, Skai went offline for a little bit and kept posting up with her man on Snapchat as usual. She had everybody convinced she was in a happy relationship. That was until a few days ago when news broke out that both she and her boyfriend were arrested at Universal Studios after a police officer caught her getting physical with him in public. According to the sources who spoke to TMZ, deputies were called to Universal City Walk after security spotted Jackson and her boyfriend getting into it, and the actress allegedly pushed him, and more than once. Jackson and her boyfriend both denied anything got physical. To the contrary, she said they were happily engaged and expecting a baby together. Deputies say they reviewed video footage and saw that she pushed him. Jackson was later arrested for misdemeanor domestic battery, cited, and released a few hours later. So as y'all can see, Skai Jackson has been getting up to a lot lately. Not only is her name attached to all these wild pimping and allegations, but she's also pregnant and secretly got engaged. This entire mess just keeps getting worse. To top it all off, her boyfriend is still working overtime to keep his identity a secret. Even after they both got arrested, there still isn't a single article or document with his name in it. Now, it's important to note that all of this is just alleged information, but if there's really any truth to it, we'll just have to sit back and wait, as usual.
Okay, so a lot of change since that we know who he is, but for a long time he was coming out with, masks and things of that nature on, trying to protect himself. And I have to say this comment who sent this comment? I forgot. AB said not only first love stupid, but second and third, fourth and fifth love stupid. It just kind of happens that way. But Joe, listen, we have now heard that this has become physical. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on how you think maybe someone would be able to intercede and step in to take this back from, it's already toxic, but now we're beginning to see physical things happening. What are your thoughts on that?
Intercede. I think you got to go back to Deborah's comment. You can't tell foolish love. As somebody who watched, honestly, my mother get beat for several by a man, who, she was a very beautiful woman and a very smart and accomplished woman. She could have had anybody. But for some reason she kept running back to this situation, right? And I know for a fact that members of her family were telling her to move on. But the thought process behind walking away from physical situations is still something that I'm studying on a regular basis. When that comes into my office, I've had that come into my office, and we've sat down and talked about it. My go-to in the moment is to process and make sure that that person is still operating in reality. That's the most I can do for the person. Okay, so I want you to understand what you're saying. I want you to know and identify what abuse is, even beyond physical. What is it? You understand it? Okay, you understand you're living in that? All right. And you still choosing to do that? And then we can start having a conversation about what it means to walk away from a situation like that. But you can't just step in and be like, girl, you getting beat, you gotta leave. It doesn't work like that.
doesn't work that way. And in this case, the baby's been born. So, I mean, it didn't say if the baby was with them when they were out when this happened or not. But now you have a little one who has those eyes, and you just said you watched it yourself. I can't imagine, that and having a child to sit and watch this. It's really, really sad. It just breaks my heart. I'm just having a real hard time with this topic.
It's a terrible feeling.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say it's a terrible feeling, and then you from that perspective, you just gave, who knows what her home situation was like, right? So a lot of times people don't want to give their children the same realities that they had, broken homes and whatnot. So there's a guilt that attaches to you, especially women, about being the one to separate or destroy the family, and they don't do that. So they'll suffer for the sake of what they think is their children's betterment, just so they don't break apart that family. It's a horrible.
Yes. Wow, it's a constant loop. It's it's a catch-22 in many situations. I'm sure of that. Minister Connie, we always talk about celebrities, but what lessons can everyday people like us take from celebrity relationship drama? Because it seems like they mostly all have drama.
We all have drama. From just every day. I deal with a lot of people that my employees having a mental health clinic. There's women that come in that are abused. And the thing is, I think they should get counseling. Sometimes they are afraid to leave, thinking that it's going to be harder to leave than to stay. But the thing is that sometimes you just need the courage just to change your mindset. The thing is, thanks, Joe, for sharing that and being transparent with that, because it is hard to see that. I know that when my mother and father was together for 22 years, she had 12 children and she left. So that was one of the things that caused her to stay, is because she had so many children and she was a stay-at-home mom. And my dad abused that a lot, especially with the mothers that stayed home and depended on the man to bring in the money, to bring home the money. So, and with 12 children, it was very, very hard, but she did it, and then she taught us not to take abuse from men. And that was a good thing. And I think we are all very strong. So sometimes, when you have seen your parent been abused, you want to stop that. You want to put a stop to it. So if anyone is listening and they're in an abusive relationship, just walk away and see and pray and ask the Lord to give you direction. But the thing is that it is hard. It's hard for women, even when you're not in an abusive relationship, to walk away. But if there's any kind of abuse, you should walk away.
Yes, and let's also make sure that we address the fact that it doesn't always have to be physical.
No, not all the time.
It can be mental as well, and abuse is abuse regardless. Now, listen, we're talking about people who have money. Most of the time, we talk about people who have money here, but we want to make it very clear that anybody with money can be targeted, not just stars. In the United States, reported losses from romance scams rose from 211 million in 2017 to 475 million in 2019. Guys, that's 2 years. That's just 2 years. 211 million to 475 million. That is absolutely crazy. Listen, I don't know about you, but it makes me question what the world is really thinking about. Do we put too much emphasis on money and not enough on relationships? Joe, that's a question for you. Are we starting to shift to put more emphasis and more importance on money?
Yeah. It's output. I tell you, output is becoming more important than just being good humans, right? and I'm speak from the place of a black male, and we had this conversation on Tuesday on my podcast, is that the things that we learn about having to be productive and be and get to the money are becoming more important than us learning how to be good humans first.
Mhm.
You know, because we have to produce or we're not men, right? And I'll let y'all speak on what it's like from the other side of the street as women, but I'm sure like right now what I'm observing from women is they're having to carry the load in a lot of different ways, especially in this country, and that's becoming the primary thing, and not getting an opportunity to sit in their femininity. This is what I'm observing, but I'll let y'all speak on that.
I think you hit that right on the head. I mean, a lot of that then falls upon us, but you know, I when you're young, you think differently. I mean, it's the same reason that I say my vision board at 30 looks totally different than what my vision board is now. I think it's a level of maturity that also comes with it, but matters of the heart are a little bit harder to tap into because you love who you love, you
Mhm.
feel how you feel. And do you see that as the same thing, Minister Connie?
Yeah, you love who you love, no matter if they financially fit with you or not. Like I said, I'm looking more for someone that loves me and we care for each other instead of the finance. Because I right now at this point in my life, and everybody's not there, I don't focus on money. I focus on the person's character more than anything. So that's very important because you can have a person that have a lot of money and they're very arrogant. I know that side too. So you have to be comfortable in who you are. So you got to be comfortable in yourself first. But yes, a lot of financial hardship fall on women, because there's a lot of single women. But this $475 million, I was told it's up to $1 billion now. So yeah, for looking for love, you know, there was something that says looking for love in all the wrong places. And that's what it is. Trying to buy love, you cannot buy love. You just can't. So
Yeah,
therefore, buying things for a man and doing all these things and going out your way is not going to make him love you. You got to love yourself first. Invest in yourself. Invest in education, to maybe send yourself through school, get your real estate license, whatever you want to do. But I know with me, the Lord confirms me first. I get my confirmation and my confidence from the Lord first, because He was the first male that was in my life as a baby before I was even born, from the foundation of the earth. He was first. So therefore, I get my confirmation and that I'm enough from him. So money does not do that. And we can't take it with us.
no, you
All
cannot.
this
You
stuff,
cannot.
I got a lot of beautiful stuff. But guess what? When I take my last breath, I want to see him. I want to see the Lord, because
Right.
that's going to be the first important thing that is, for me, is to see the Lord. I'm not going to worry about that. And I've seen a lot of people that have been sick, and the first thing they want to do is get their soul right with God. They're not thinking
That's
about all
right.
that. When you're in pain, you're sick every day, they want to get out of here. So
That's true.
you got to
That's very
make
true.
your choices. Can't take this stuff with you.
No, you can't. You really, really can't. And there's more things in life to material things. Now, listen, one thing that we have talked about is being able to support yourself. And I think that is an important part of your life. You can't depend on someone else or expect the glow up off of someone else. You really, truly must feed into your own self. And that means body, mind, and spirit, right? So, what we do at Fly Nubian Money Club is we help you do that. We have so many classes. Listen, brand your brilliance with Dr. Lene She's going to tap into all those things. She's going to tap into what you're good at, what is going to help you earn and feel good about yourself by tapping into what you already know that you are an expert at. She just had a class. You don't want to miss out on that. So you want to make sure that you definitely sign up for flynubianmoneyclub.com, because honestly, when you know that you can glow up your own self, that gives you a little more self independence and self-worth, and it can help you feel more proud about yourself. And maybe you may not find yourself in situations like this young lady is, and maybe you feel that you don't necessarily need someone else to be by your side if it's bad, because you can do bad all by yourself, baby. Go ahead and glow up at flynubianmoneyclub.com. Listen, this has been a very, very interesting conversation. I will say it's definitely been tapping on my heart. And I probably will be thinking about this whole story as we go along, because I honestly am worried about this young lady. But it's time for final thoughts and where we can find each other. I'm going to start with you, Joe. What are your final thoughts on this, and where can we find you?
Yeah, I feel like we talked a good amount about this, so I'm going to use my final thoughts to thank all the people out there that are reaching out, and to let you know I'm proud of you for scheduling your free consultations. It's becoming more frequent now that people are seeing this show and reaching out to me, trying to get their situation straight. And I'm doing my best to help as many as I can. I'm not able to help everybody, unfortunately, but I really still appreciate the fact that you're tapping in and getting some guidance on, where to go next with your mental health. But keep doing that, y'all. Keep doing that. RealYouConsulting.com. You can go there, book you a free consultation, and at least start the process of trying to get some things straight with yourself. Because you're not liking the way you're feeling. It's time to change. It's like this is the time more than ever to start changing, so you can start glowing up in all your ways. You want to get your money straight. It's very difficult to do that when your head's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So come holler at me.
That's right. That is so right. Listen, I am a true believer in therapy. I don't know where my head would have been on a lot of situations. I've not just been once in my life. I've been several times in my life to therapy, and I can attest to how important it was for me, because it helps you to think outside of the box, because you can get yourself into a box and you can't even get out and think of anything new. I'm going to tell you now, you want to go to someone who has a heart and actually has the desire to help you be better. And that is Joe. And you can schedule some time with Joe at realyouconsulting.com. Do that. You are worth it. And I can't tell you how much better you will feel once you have a little bit of help to get you out of that cloud. Right? So, Minister Connie, what is your final thoughts, and where can we find you?
Okay. Young ladies, please love yourself first. Invest in yourself. Yes, you can love someone, but love yourself first more. You can reach me at conniespearman.com. I have a book out called Lord, I Hear You. You could go on my website and get the book, read it. It's a whole lot of testimonies about things that needing God when you need him the most. He will come through for you. So that's my final thought. Love yourself, and don't look to anybody else to make you feel like you are wanted. Just get with someone that appreciates you and going to love you for who you are and value you, because a man will value you, if you have the right one. So try to pick the right one.
That's right. Listen, and where can we find you, Minister Connie?
You could call me. You could find me at conniespearman.com. Okay. And like I said, my book is on my website. Lord, I Hear You. So pick up a copy, and I also have a journal for journaling.
Oh, she said the magic word. She got me at journal. I'm a journal chick. Listen, you need to make sure that you go to her website, get the book, get the workbook, because listen, you give me a workbook all day long. I love me some workbooks. Thank you, Minister Connie. I absolutely love that. Yes. And here is my final thought. Listen, you are worth everything. You are pure gold. Listen, you were made to be great. You're not made to come and shrink yourself. And I have a feeling that this young lady, because of love, is shrinking herself. She has a very positive career going on, and now she has this to kind of help. It could be a test, but don't ever, ever, ever dim your light for anyone else, because you are worth it, and you can be the light for others as well. Don't know what her lesson will be in this, but I do wish her much love and much joy, and I hope she gets out of this cycle. And I pray that this young man also sees that this is not the way. And listen, you can find me at my website at www.laurakey.net. Listen, I have some great stuff for you there too. If you're thinking about moving out of the country, and listen, a lot of people are talking about it, but they don't exactly know where to start. Well, I have a quiz for you. And this quiz is going to ask you some very difficult questions and some things that you may not have thought about before taking the step of moving out of the country. So go ahead and download that, and it'll tell you, are you ready? Or maybe I'm halfway there, or heck, pack my bags, we're ready to go. So go to www.laurakey.net. Now, listen, everybody, this conversation goes way beyond Skai Jackson's situation. This is about how we view relationships and money and success. Are we valuing love and genuine connections, or are we treating relationships like business deals? At the end of the day, it's about being smart with who we allow in our lives, whether they're famous or not. So understand people's intention. That's a very key element when letting someone into your life. So what do y'all think? Is this just clout chasing nonsense, or is there a real issue here? So let's keep the conversation going. And until next time, it's Friday, guys. Blackout, no shopping. Spend it in our communities. Stay smart, stay focused, and as always, secure your bag the right way. We'll see you Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great weekend. Peace out.